Do you believe that prayer can change things in some of the darkest places of the world? Throughout this series, you've heard several statistics about lostness, unreached and unengaged people groups, and how to be a part of fulfilling the Great Commission. But I want to challenge you to get involved right now by committing to pray. Jesus says in John chapter 14 that whoever believes in Him will do the works that He does and even greater works. In verse 14, He says, if you ask Him, He'll do it. And I want to ask you today to dedicate more time to begging God to do mighty things in the hardest places of the earth. I believe that prayer is our most powerful tool as we seek to share the good news of the gospel throughout the world. Practically, when I consider the statistics of unreached people groups, it feels almost overwhelming to think about how to even begin praying for them. But one thing that God makes very clear in His Word is that we should be praying for the spiritual harvest among all peoples of the world. In Matthew 9:37, Jesus tells His disciples that the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Then He gives us a directive on how to find the few: by our prayer. In verse 38, Jesus tells the disciples to pray earnestly to the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into His harvest fields. Brothers and sisters, we must commit ourselves to praying earnestly for God to send out workers, to be a part of fulfilling the Great Commission. Personally, I spend time each week praying for God to call people to unreached, unengaged people groups by using resources provided by an organization called Joshua Project, who's done extensive research in this area. Maybe you know of an ethnic group that you need to begin praying for because of a trip that you've been on, or maybe a person that you've met. Perhaps as you've been exposed to some of the information in this series, you feel God moving your heart and you need to ask Him if He might want to use you as a long-term worker in a hard-to-reach place. I'm not sure what God is doing in your heart, but I know that we must be committed and consistent in begging God in prayer to move. So, would you let today be the beginning of a shift in your prayer life? Would you begin to pray consistently that God's Spirit would move mightily in the darkest corners of the earth?